We had a conference, a Sidney Poitier conference at COB that was meant to interrogate, critique, and celebrate his work on screen, off screen, in the public sphere. And there were some excellent comments that were made about his iconic presence. One of the most interesting was our keynote address was by Manthia Diawara, the great African film critic. And he said that in Nigeria, in the sort of pre-independence, independence time period, black men wanted to associate themselves with Sidney Poitier. It was their way of kind of expressing their manhood, their strength, their ethos, their value, and their sense of self-worth and pride was all caught up in what they saw on screen in the work of Sidney Poitier. So Sidney Poitier was incredibly iconic.
So Sidney, you're an American icon, a world icon, and a Caribbean icon.
Let's stop right there. Icons, you know, are men and women who have done extraordinary things, you know. Well, I just started yesterday. I've got a while to go. Anyway, carry on.
Well, that's just my point, Sir Sidney. I mean, you're this. You're one of the humblest person I've ever met, you know, and you immediately disarm people of this idea that you're Sir Sidney Poitier, the icon. Like, how do you strike the balance between the man and the icon?
Well, I try as best I can to present myself as different from where you would. I try to speak as a person who is an ordinary person. I am, in fact, an ordinary person. You should hear how my wife talks to me. Then you know I'm a very ordinary person. So I'd rather you just call me Sidney, you know, and we can talk. Once you've done that, and I know that that's how you're going to interrupt me when you're ready, I'll be comfortable. But I'm not comfortable if you call me Mr. Poitier or some other silliness.
So as it turns out, the first film that Sidney Poitier saw was a Western, and it had a phenomenal impact on him. He recounts it right now. And I heard Martin Scorsese once recount a similar tale about the magic and the impact that the cinema had on him when he first saw it as a child. If you're a filmmaker, actor, production designer, whatever you are in the world of film, you'll probably relate to this.
No one in the industry here in town, no one in the Bahamas, my family had no idea. And you, believe me when I tell you, I didn't have any idea. I had this sense of wanting to do these things. I saw a film, my very first film. I went to see it. It was a Western. It was the first time I ever went to a theater. And this was in Nassau. I had never been in a movie house, never seen a movie screen, never seen a horse. I went with these guys. They bought me a ticket, and we went into the theater. And the theater was a huge place, lots of seats, lots of people, all waiting for the movies to start. And I was greatly inspired because I wondered, what is this that they're going to show me? I had never seen anything on a screen. Never, ever, ever, you know. And then some writing came. And after the writing, I kind of like I didn't want, the guys were whispering to each other, and I just didn't pay them any attention because I didn't know nothing, but I was listening. And then the movie started. I saw a horse on the screen. And I was just getting ready to get out of there because I looked like the horse was coming after me. Anyway, they introduced me to film, and they took me more than once. And after a while, I became fascinated by the concept Harry Belafonte and I have been very, very close friends for now, I suspect, well beyond 40 years.
Wow.
We knew each other. And we've remained friends throughout those years because we went to the American Negro Theater at the same time.
And you both have West Indian roots. How much did that inform your work ethic? I know you've spoken a lot about the fact that so much of your value system as a person came from your time in Cat Island and Nassau. Mm-hmm. Harry Belafonte, of course, came in from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. How much did that inform the both of you in theater and in Hollywood at the time?
I think it's a good question. I think it depended on the nature of the personality, his and mine, how they met, the personalities, you see. There was something about him that fascinated me. And in the reverse circumstance, the same happened to him. I knew a goodly deal about filmmaking because I wanted to be a filmmaker. And Harry wanted to be a filmmaker. So that we inspired each other in a way.
So Sidney, right now in the Caribbean, you have a vibrant world of Caribbean. They're calling it the New Caribbean Cinema. The Bahamas, Trinidad, Belize, Barbados, so forth and so on. What words of wisdom do you have for this new generation of filmmakers emerging from the Caribbean?
What word of wisdom?
Or advice?
That's better. I've not had a word of wisdom in about 40 years. What word I might have, or Harry might have?
Yes, sir.
It would, as a matter of fact, he and I had agreed to go to the Caribbean, starting in the Bahamas, then Jamaica, and we were to go to wherever there was a university. We have not yet done that because something happened that took us away from that. We had to stay here, as a matter of fact, not far from here, because Oprah Winfrey was doing her movie.
Yes, sir.
Which was a...
Selma.
Selma.
Yes, sir.
And Selma was for her and for Harry Belafonte. For me somewhat, but not nearly as much as they were. They were obliged and they were inspired to lend themselves to making that film that's
yes,
out there at the moment. So
yes, sir.
There is no way for you to build it otherwise than being inspired to do it. You see?
Yes, sir.
What you're doing is what I did. You're in the process now. You are making films. But there was a beginning. There was a time. There was a start. There was a place at which you were inspired by the concept.
Yes, sir.
The concept of you putting a horse in a building on a stage. Damn, that's pretty good. So, I think that you guys have made wonderful strides. I think you have. I've seen some of the stuff, yours included. The stuff that you've shown me here is impressive stuff.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think you guys are doing quite well. I really do think you guys are doing quite well. They should be encouraged by the individual countries to which they belong, and then exchange with each other, watching each other's work.
That's precisely, that's precisely what we're all aiming for. Yes, sir.
That's the only way to do it.
Yes, sir.
Because one of you is going to have a shot, and you're going to come away from that. It's going to make a big hit. You follow?
Yes, sir.
And that will inspire your compatriots. And it might be them doing it to inspire you, you know. And then someone on one of the off islands will hear about it and will come looking for guys like you.
Yes, sir.
Sure, that's the way it is.
So I thought we were done. And then he completely surprised us and just started talking to all the cameramen in the room. And I believe he wasn't just talking to them, but he was talking to all of us.
What's your name?
Casper.
Casper. You love filmmaking?
Yeah.
You do. Sir, you?
I love filmmaking with all my heart.
With all your heart. You, sir?
My name's Derek.
Derek.
Yeah, I have an obsession with filmmaking. Pretty for
It's all surreal for them to be sitting here before you, so excuse them.
It is my pleasure to be here with you guys.
Thank you.
Because I was at a time at your age, what you see. I'll tell you what you've learned. Before all of this came about, you guys were struck by something, and it was something that was challenging you. And you didn't know what a camera looked like, but you got the idea something was wonderful. How do they do that? My God, that's amazing. And it's right here in the house. I can sit here and just do my thing, and I can see stuff. That's how you got hooked, or something like that. And you know what? The future belongs to you. It's entirely up to you guys. Now, I'll tell you, I am an elderly man, clearly. Don't spread it. What I want you to do is to spend yourselves on behalf of what you wish your creative life will be. It depends on no one other than yourself. You hear me?
Yeah.
Just stay with it. And I'll tell you why. How old are you?
25.
25. You?
33.
33.
43.
43. I am 87 years old. 87. You hear me? I've made dozens and dozens and dozens of films. I've directed, I've produced, I've done all of those things. Every bit of it, if you persevere, you will decide your way in life. And I wish you well. Trust me when I tell you, your chances are good.
Thanks.
Okay. That goes for all four of us.
We've got a doggone beat now. We're gonna call our very own Nassau Rock and Nassau Road. Nassau's got a whole lot of soul. Feel alright. Mini skirts, maxi skirts, and afro hairdo. People doing their own thing and don't care about me or you. Nassau's gone